I lost my voice at one of my shows because I'm pretty sure I contracted laryngitis. I got sick, I put way too much strain on my vocal cords, and I kept pushing through the performance even as I knew my voice was going out. All of those things led me to have to put myself onto vocal rest. So in this video, I want to talk to you about my experience with having to put myself on vocal rest, as well as some other things that I did to speed up the process of getting back to normal. Last week, I put out a video on losing my voice and getting laryngitis for the very first time. Make sure you check that video out. In this particular video, I want to talk to you a little bit more about my experience losing my voice, what it was like being on vocal rest, and some of the home remedies that I did to get my voice to recover and get back to normal. This is the first time that I've ever lost my voice and had laryngitis, which was a very interesting experience for me. Like I mentioned in my previous video about getting laryngitis for the first time, part of it that was really nice is that I'm an introvert, and so not having to talk to people actually wasn't all that bad. I actually prefer not having to talk to people all the time. So that part was really nice, but I didn't realize how much I talked to myself, and I didn't realize even in small conversation or in small experiences or run-ins with people, how much the voice is actually used throughout the day. So I do use my voice when I'm praying to God because I like to say my prayers out loud. And I realize how much I actually talk to myself when I'm all alone, and I just tend to speak my train of thought out loud. I realize that about myself. It's really fun to talk to myself. I don't talk to people like that, or I don't enjoy talking to people as much as I talk to myself. Does that make me crazy? I don't know, but I had a good time. I have a good time in my own company. You know, I learned some things about my voice. I learned that actually whispering is not great. It's not a form of vocal rest. I thought that maybe I could, approach it like maybe a soft Michael Jackson or a soft Aaliyah kind of voice, the way that they speak. It's a lot more light and airy, and it's like this. This is not exactly whispering, but they definitely speak in a lighter tone, and that's less stress on the vocal cords. But what I learned was, even if I'm trying to talk to people, when I need to whisper, whispering is actually a lot more work, and it's not beneficial for the vocal cords. Hopefully that wasn't too creepy, but I realized that whispering is actually bad for the vocal folds, and when you're doing vocal rest, it's best to just not speak at all. So I had to adjust how I was talking to people at work. I had to tell people that I can't talk on the phone and to text me, or I just wasn't talking to people straight up. All of that to say that I put myself on vocal rest so that I could be fairly back to normal for my job, which is to sing for a corporate band. So I lost my voice on April 18th. That entire week following, because I had a big show for April 25th, the week leading up to that show, I minimized talking, I minimized singing, I minimized doing things unnecessarily vocally. If you don't know what vocal rest is, all that means is that you minimize or you completely eliminate any need for you to use your voice, such as speaking or singing, so that your vocal cords can heal and get rest, so that they are no longer going to be strained and they won't be hoarse, all those different things. So vocal rest just means resting your vocals, just in case anybody didn't know that or wasn't sure maybe what vocal rest was. So I put myself on vocal rest, and like I said, I realized how much I actually talk. Whispering is not helping vocal rest. It's best to just completely go silent and not talk at all. But if you must, try to be airy and try not to force out the air too much. Don't have to be loud, it can be soft spoken. I like to think of Michael Jackson or Aaliyah, but if you can help it, try not to speak at all, okay? When you're on vocal rest, it's recommended that you don't speak or do anything involving your voice for 24 to 48 hours. If you can help it, go completely mute, like Beyonce mute challenge. Don't say anything for 24 to 48 hours. Unfortunately for me, I did not necessarily have this luxury just because of the kinds of jobs that I have. Thankfully, the office job that I work out of, I only have to talk to one person, and we really don't have to talk for most of the shift because it's mostly just signing papers and stamping and typing and filing and that kind of thing. So very grateful that outside of the corporate job, I don't really have to talk to people that much. All right. My podcasting job, I did have to talk because I have to direct him on how to do certain things. I have to talk to prospective guests, and I'm producing episodes basically. So that was a little more challenging and it proved to be very straining on my vocal cords. But if you can help it, try not to talk at all for 24 to 48 hours. If I was to turn it into a spiritual thing, I actually used to do this every Sunday. As soon as I wake up, I would not have my phone. I would not watch TV. It would just be like a day of silence, or at least the first few hours of my day going into church. I wouldn't say anything. I would just take in the environment. If you want to put a spiritual attachment on it, you could use it as a way of, I'm going silent so that I can hear God's voice more. But that's for another topic, another day. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comment section if you want to hear more about a vow of silence. But if you're not able to completely go silent for 24 to 48 hours at least, then there are other things that I think can be done to help the voice get back to its normal state. And some of the things that I ended up doing, aside from limiting how much I was talking, I make sure that I took my vitamins and I took emergency every single day. Everything I'm about to tell you right now is basically going to fall into the category of staying hydrated. I already drink a lot of water, but I definitely made sure that I stayed on top of my water, and I made sure that I stayed on top of my smoothies, my vitamins, my proteins, and my hot tea. So lots of water, drink lots of water to stay hydrated. In the morning, I would wake up and I have a water bottle. I would put a packet of emergency, which is a huge dose of vitamin C. I would drink 1 water bottle of that every morning. So that's not only keeping me hydrated, but it is also helping my immune system, because like I explained in my previous video about dealing with or contracting laryngitis for the first time, it started because I was sick. I got an itch in the back of my throat, and then I had mucus going through from my head to my nose to a nasal drip in the back of my throat. So I think I caught it from someone who may have had a common cold. I wanted to knock that out as soon as I possibly could. So I took emergency in the form of those little powder packets in a water bottle, shake it up, drinking that first thing in the morning. Something else that I do for my typical routine is I like to do smoothies every day. Aside from the cooling sensation of it, which is nice going, into my throat and on my vocal cords, I think the cooling sensation is nice. But in my smoothies, it's fruits, it's protein powder, which protein powder is really good for helping muscles to regenerate or to heal. It helps with muscle soreness. So just in general, if the body is an instrument, I believe that you have to take care of your body in order to be a great singer. If you're not taking care of your body, then how sound escapes your body is not going to be as good, as polished, as great as it could be. So as singers, our entire body is the instrument. Take care of it. Protein powder in my smoothie. I also have collagen peptide powder in my smoothie, which helps with my joints and helps me stay, supple and not creaking and cracking every 20 seconds, So I do that all the time, which I think that really helps my body in general for recovery and soreness and all those things. I have vitamins, a daily vitamin that I take, which includes the whole vitamin complex of A, D, K, C, B12, all of those complex vitamins. It also has things like iron, magnesium, and I'm sure a bunch of other things that I would actually need to read the label to tell you, but I was staying on top of that. I also had airborne chewable vitamins, and that's 4 of those each day. And then on top of that, I was drinking tea every night. Now, I'm a big tea drinker, and I like to have it every night. If you're not a big tea drinker, you don't have to do this. But for me personally, I swear by it. I boil water. I have fresh ginger root, fresh turmeric root, and I even tried to chew raw garlic clove in the morning after doing my smoothie and, all that other stuff. But for my tea, I do hot water, and then I put cayenne pepper, cinnamon, nutmeg, honey, ginger, turmeric. I kind of smash those. I muddle those in there a little bit to kind of release whatever juices they have. I also put, I already said honey, right? I also put a cough drop in it, and I mix all of that up. If you want to get even more crazy with it, I squeeze lemon juice into it, and I put some apple cider vinegar with mother into there. I mix all of that up. It's really delicious to me. and I believe it has great benefits. Mix all of that up. When you get to the end of the tea, make sure you're taking it all the way to the back of the head. You're taking in the cayenne pepper, you're taking in the nutmeg, the cinnamon, and you're taking the ginger root and the turmeric root. Chew it and swallow it. And for me, that really, I swear by that. So give that a try. Let me know what you think with that. Some people also put raw honey on their vocal cords, or just swallow a teaspoon or a tablespoon of honey. I don't quite believe in that, but I've heard that it helps. You can try it for yourself. I also continued to exercise because, like I said, as a singer, our body is our instrument. And if our instrument is not in good form, it's not in good shape, that does affect how air comes out of the body. And if you know anything about singing, all singing is just manipulating how air escapes the body, making it sound prettier, making it sound nicer than most other people. Well, I can't do that if my body is not in tip-top condition. So on top of all those things I was doing, I also made sure that I stayed with my daily routine as far as my fitness and my workout every day. I just so happened to be participating in a 6-week fitness challenge called Snatched in 6 by Chanel Iheanacho is her last name now because she got married. Congratulations, Chanel. But that's been keeping me fit. It's been challenging my body and making my body stronger through the different workouts that I'm doing with that. Plus, I also believe that when you're doing fitness, you're like naturally raising your body's temperature and burning out any toxins, burning out any sickness that might be in the body. So I'm a huge proponent for fitness, and I would highly recommend that everybody, not just singers, but especially singers, everybody get your workout in. Get at least 3 workouts a week, right? So those are some of the things that I did to speed up my recovery for my vocals. Now, I do have to be transparent and say that my voice is not 100% back to how it was. However, when I look at the progress that I made from April 18th, even until April 25th, which was 1 week later and was a really big show, not talking, getting my vitamins, working out, getting my protein, getting all of those things, my turmeric, my ginger, all of those things, my voice was ready to go for that show. Some of my high register was still not there, but I was able to make it through that show, and I'm very proud of that. So yeah, I hope that you took away some great advice, some great tips, maybe some things that you'll try for yourself. I'm also going to do a video on what's called a larynx massage, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I will also probably link it once I remember to, but I'll talk about that soon. If you found this to be very helpful, first off, thank you so much for tuning in to Lex Chat. If you found this helpful, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified each and every time I post a new piece of content. And in the comment section, let me know what are some tips that you might have for vocal recovery, some things that you do for yourself, and also let me know what other topics you would like to chat about next. But until then, my name is LexC. Peace. Standing on the couches, we don't want no grouches. It's a celebration if you came up out your houses. It's a party now.